Alright, so reviewing 5.5 and 5.6. So 5.5 had side, 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 where you just need 3 sides congruent, and hypotenuse leg, or HL, so side, side, side could be. So for hypotenuse leg, remember we need right triangles, hypotenuse congruent, and a leg congruent. So usually on the hypotenuse leg theorems, if you're going to do that on a proof, they tell you the hypotenuse is congruent. So notice on both of these, you don't have angles being congruent. Side, side, side is all 3 sides. This one, you know something about the angles, but you're not saying they're congruent. We're just saying I have right triangles, and then I have hypotenuse congruent and a leg congruent. So that's kind of the reason that they're tied together. Okay. I'm going to come back to some stuff, but for 5.6, we had angle, side, angle. And we had angle, angle, side. So these two, if you notice, 2 angles are congruent and 1 side is congruent. So it just matters where the side is in the triangle to use, which like one. So if you had one like this, that would be angle, side, angle. If you had one like that, this would be angle, angle, side. So if the side, and they call it an included side, we use that with side, angle, side. If the angle is or the side is between the 2 angles, you're going to do angle, side, angle. If it's not between, it's one of the other sides, it's angle, angle, side. So you could have this side be congruent down here, or you could have that side being congruent, just not the one that's between them. Okay. All right. So again, the problems are the same. Like, is there enough information to prove that these are congruent? Is the congruent statement correct? But all the given stuff is really the same. And what I mean by that is, I'm going to go over this more tomorrow, but conclusions from the given. So if you have midpoint, if it says something's a midpoint in the given, then each smaller part is congruent. So it's in the middle. So the part on the left and the part on the right are congruent. That's what you're going to say. If you have bisect, it's pretty much the same thing. Each smaller part congruent. Bisect is usually in the proofs they talk about an angle. being bisected. So each smaller angle, the one on the left, is congruent to the one on the right. Let's see, you could have parallel. And so it's usually alternate interior angles are congruent. So you need to look for where are the alternate interior angles in whatever shape it's talking about. There is a small possibility, it did happen at least once, where you could use corresponding, but it's a really small, like almost all of them are alternate interior angles. I'm trying to think, I know there's perpendicular, but I'm trying to think if there's any more. Not off the top of my head. So if you have in the given perpendicular, you're going to say you have right angles, and that's like definition of perpendicular. You have to say that first no matter what. And then you're either going to say right angles are congruent. You know, like the two, like you're going to say this angle is congruent to this angle because right angles are congruent. Or you're going to say that you have right triangles. So if you're going to say right angles are congruent, that means you're going to be using like side angle side, angle angle side, or angle side angle at the end. If you're going to say you have right triangles, you're going to say you're going to be using hypotenuse leg. And so the easiest way I think to tell which one you're going to use is you're just going to ask, is the hypotenuse congruent? And if you say yes, then you're going to be using HL, or you're going to say you have right triangles. If you say no, then I would say that right angles are congruent, and you're going to be using one of those other ones. So that is, in my opinion, the trickiest given information, perpendicular, just because you have options. And it might not be clear like which one you have to go to. So that's where, again, I look at, is the hypotenuse congruent? Okay. Alright, so the problems themselves are like we've been doing. There's nothing like brand new or different. So I'm sure on the 5.5 worksheet, it's going to be a side, 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 or a hypotenuse leg. And on the 5.6 worksheet, you're going to be dealing with angle, angle, side, or angle, side, angle. Okay? Alright, so study hard. Test Wednesday. Okay? Have a great rest of your day. See you tomorrow.